Lesson on how to just know and relax. Oh, okay. A Loz lesson on being in the knowing. How to just know your manifestation is here and relax. In this video, I'll tell you how to get to that state. Now, guys, a lot of people mistake my account for not talking about states very much. Some people said to me, you don't talk about states. Of course I fucking do. Someone yesterday, actually it was Sasha and Kay, went back to my very first video on TikTok and said to me, oh, look, this is your very first video. We've just gone back. And Sasha wrote, oh, look at you now or something, right? And I think the first question I ever answered, because the first video was just saying I'm Loz, blah, blah, blah. And the second video was ask me your manifestation questions. And one of the very first videos I did, someone said, how do you manifest money? And I said, well, you've got to get into the state of wealthy, into the state of having it now. You could be in the state of poor or in the state of wealthy. Now, some dumb bitches come on my account, and because I don't say the word state every fucking 5 seconds, although if you watch my lives for long enough, you'll notice I probably say the word state about 20 times every live, say you don't teach people to get into the state. Of course I fucking do. I teach you how to get into the state to know your manifestation is already here. And you've got to change your self-concept to be in that state. A state is just a consistency, the place you most often return. It isn't some magic place. It's the place you most often return. And if you go to that video, I'm talking about states, and that's 3 fucking years ago. I'm talking about that. I've always spoken about states. So to get into the knowing state, which is what this person's asking, how to just know, you've got to believe that this is working. Now, sometimes you might be thrown by the 3D and think it isn't working, but you've got to go back to the state of knowing that it's done. So when Neville Goddard talks about feeling is the secret, a lot of people misconstrue that and think he means feelings, like emotional feelings. Think of what the title says. It doesn't say feelings are the secret. The book is called Feeling is the Secret. So what's the difference between feeling and feelings? The feeling is it is done. Feeling it is done, being in the knowing that it's here now. Feelings is completely different. And he has a very famous quote that a lot of people forget about, which says, when I talk of feeling, I do not mean emotion. So a lot of you are trying to emote to get into the feeling. That's not what we're trying to do. All we're trying to do is get into the feeling of knowing it is done. That's what he means by feeling is the secret. So to get into the knowing that it's done, what do you do? Well, what would you do with your 3D circumstances when it hasn't shown up, showing you that it's done? Would you look at them and be thrown by them? Or would you look at them and know, it doesn't matter what I see, it's done? Would someone say something to you and you still think, oh my God, it's not coming? Or would you think, it doesn't matter what they said, I know it's done? If you experience emotions that make you spiral, can you get out of that and still know it's done? That's the key. So sometimes you guys can't be consistent in the state because of something someone said, something someone did, something you experienced, and that's okay. You get back on the beam, as Neville said. You're walking along, you fell off, you get back on. You're riding the horse, you fell off, you get back on the horse. A lot of you have trouble getting back on the horse. You think you've fallen off, you got out of the state, and then you're fucked. No, guys, of course that's not true. Of course that isn't the case. You can go back to the state of knowing anytime. But the way to be in the knowing is to have a conviction in your mind that it's done no matter what the circumstances out here are. And that's why manifestation coaches who do know what they're talking about say circumstances don't matter. Because if you're in the knowing in here that it's done and you're imagining it's done, you're imagining you're with your specific person in a beautiful, happy relationship. You imagine you have the money now. You imagine you're in your new house. You imagine you have the car. You imagine you are in a booming business. It is done despite what's going on out here. So the key is to not be thrown by the 3D. And that's when Neville says, turn your attention away from it. If you go back to my YouTube video from 2 days ago, that's what I'm talking about, how to do that. You don't have to ignore it. You just have to turn your attention away from it and put your attention somewhere else in your mind. This is all a mind exercise, guys. This isn't doing anything in the 3D or even knowingly out loud saying you know it's done. It's knowing it's done in your mind. And the way you do that is the more you can live in the 4D, inside the moment of it's done. If you can live in your 4D in here knowing it's done. So how would you live in the 4D in here knowing it's done? You would have imaginal scenes implying it's done, like you and your specific person living together. You would have imaginal scenes implying that you have the money, imagining you can shop and buy whatever you want. You would have imaginal scenes in your mind that you have a booming business and you have so many clients and you have to hire staff. With imaginal scenes or words that you say or stories that you tell yourself or inner conversations you have all day long, you see the world from the premise of that new 4D reality. So if you're trying to create a booming business and right now you have no clients, You don't look at the calendar, not booked out, and think, oh my God, no one's booked. You look at that calendar and imagine it's done. You imagine it's booked. Now, when Neville started his lectures, he would stand in empty churches and empty halls and talk to no one. And one day the guy who ran the hall came out and said, what are you doing? He said, I know it's done. I'm just getting ready. He was in the state of, it's here now. I am a master manifester. I am a lecturer. I am someone everyone comes to listen to. And eventually the halls filled up so much they'd be standing outside listening. But he already was in the state of it's done before a person even showed up. Are you doing that? Or are you waiting for the person to show up? Are you waiting for your specific person to show up before you're in the knowing that they're going to show up? Be like Neville. Imagine he's already here. Imagine the audience is already here, captivated by what you have to say. A lot of you aren't doing that. A lot of you are waiting to see evidence. You've got to believe it before you see it, guys, not the other way around. How can you do that? You've got to go back to the state of knowing all the time, despite what's happening out here. That's how you be in the knowing. All right? And you also test your manifestation power and see evidence of your manifestation power all day long, even with the bad stuff. So if something manifests that you predicted in your mind might happen because you were fearful, go, well, shit, I'm a master manifester today, aren't I? I masterfully manifested that shit show. See that and go, well, I'm in the knowing that I did that. So how come I can't know that I can do the good stuff? How come I can't know that they're coming back? How come I'm in the state of waiting, and how long is it taking, and where is he? When I can masterfully manifest bad shit all fucking day. Some of you aren't even noticing the bad shit. That should show you how masterful you are at manifesting. Right? So guys, if you haven't actually listened to Neville Goddard's lectures, please go and do it, because it's all right listening to me, but it also would really help you if you actually went and listened to Neville or read his lectures in conjunction to watching me. Right? And if you haven't done that, I promise you it will really help you. Okay, I'm going up. Hang on. Any questions, guys? Whoa. Wait a minute. I'm scrolling down. Wait a moment. Yes, just about just knowing. Good. Before I sleep, visualizing he's sleeping with me. Good, darling. I love the challenge. It's truly holding me accountable. Oh, wonderful, darling. So, guys, come and join the challenge. 21-day challenge. It's already begun, but doesn't matter. We're only on day 3. Some people are way behind, and they're starting on day 1 today. It's all posts within the group, and in the guides, there's workbooks and videos. And I'll be going live today, 10 a.m. UK time, which is 5 a.m. EST. But if you miss it, if you're in America, don't worry. You can watch it back. It's saved on the newsfeed under hashtag Christmas Challenge inside the squad. And it's only $35 to join this challenge, guys, and it's so helpful to keep you accountable to get your shit. Neville is good. Currently reading Power of Imagination. You mean Power of Awareness? Wonderful, darling. You're probably reading some other fuckwit's book who put it on Amazon. It isn't really Neville. Do you mean The Power of Awareness? There isn't a book of his called The Power of Imagination. Guys, be careful what you buy on Amazon. A lot of people are selling Neville books as if they're Neville, and they're not Neville. Neville only had like 2 books, proper books, I think. My self-concept definitely showing. Oh, good, darling. I thought I was living in the end before with Make Them Obsessed. I know now that I am. Oh, good, darling. Hang on. Hi, Shay. Only on day 3 of the squad and already feeling so much better and feeling like I'm living in the end. Oh, wonderful, darling. The Christmas 21-day challenge has been amazing so far, especially the check boxes. Oh, good, darling. Hang on. Lesson on keeping yourself on the pedestal. I could do that next time. Loz, my relationship is amazing. Thanks to you. Love you. Oh, Simone. Lovely. What do I do if he only wants to hang out as friends in groups? How do I see him different? Darling, what do you mean, what do you do? You start seeing him in your mind as loving you. You're thinking he's making the decision. He's reflecting your thoughts that you're not good enough for him and he's on a pedestal, darling. You've got to change your thinking. You were the first coach I learned about states from, Loz. You always thought that. Oh, thank you, Shelley. Some people think that I don't talk about it because I don't use it as every second fucking word. Guys, what do you think I'm trying to teach you to get into? The state of knowing, the state of it's done, the state of having, the state of it's here. What do you think I'm talking about all day long? What do you mean? Like when I saw that first video, I was like, this is one of my very first videos almost 3 years ago on TikTok, and people accused me of not talking about states. It's all through those early videos 3 years ago. People love putting words in my mouth. People love saying, I teach healing. I don't teach healing. You teach self-love. No, I don't. What do you mean? Have you got comprehension problems? I'm attracting my SP from a fuck buddy to husband, and I'm getting more and more attention from him than anyone. Oh, wonderful, darling, you're doing it. Feeling it now, not feelings. Oh my God, thank you for clarifying this. Guys, so many people are teaching you emotion to, to manifest, or emotional regulation. What in the hell? I actually saw an Abraham Hicks video come up on my For You page yesterday, and it said, get into the emotional state. And I was like, oh no. Emotions are the key or something. I was like, oh man, she's so lost. But people love it. They think it's right, even though very few people actually manifest what they want listening to her. And if they did, they got into a state some other way other than the way she taught them. Because I tell you what, I never really, in all the time that I read her, listened to her, heard many success stories from Abraham Hicks's teachings, unless I'm wrong. I never really saw any. And she condescends everyone all the time. It doesn't matter what you see, what they said, silly thoughts. It's done. Yes, guys. Loving this. Needed to hear this. Good. It's done no matter what. I love that. Yes, guys. Do you have to believe your affirmations in order to manifest? No, darling. I don't believe mine. Why would you have to believe them? They're just thoughts. Eventually you will. I was once told even the most powerful manifestors don't care if they reacted. They get right back. Yes, exactly, guys. You can react, but let me give you the tip. You can be one of these people who thinks, I react all the time and then I fix it later. All right, bitch, well, how's that working for you? That's a fucked up system you got going on there. Why don't you just not react in the first place? The key is not reacting, non-reaction. But okay, if you want to react and then clean it up later, it's like having 10 car accidents a day and then getting all insurance all in the afternoon. Why weren't you just more careful and didn't have a car accident? It makes no sense. What if something happens in your 3D that you didn't want to happen and never assumed for it either? Darling, of course you didn't assume for it consciously. Aisha, you knew. Alicia, you did it subconsciously, darling. You assumed it subconsciously. I'm called subconscious laws for a reason. I'm teaching you what are you subconsciously thinking. You're not aware you're thinking. That's what manifests. Go and watch all my videos. You sound fucking lost. Go back to the very beginning of my YouTube and watch how to manifest. All that playlist. Go and get my mini course all about awareness called Everything You've Learned About Manifesting is Wrong. What do you mean you didn't assume for it? Of course you didn't assume for it. You manifested your own breakup, didn't you, with your shitty thinking? You didn't assume for that. But I bet you had a whole lot of fearful thoughts you weren't aware of, like he doesn't want me, he's not committing to me, he's not prioritizing me, that you didn't even realize you were thinking. Ta-da! Magic manifestation of a breakup. What are you talking about? Go and watch all my videos. You sound very lost. You think this is something to start doing. Could you explain this a little bit, please? What are we talking about? I just explained it for you, darling. Do living in the end of visualizations of being loved and chosen count as self-concept work? Yes. Well, look, guys, so long as in those scenes you are being loved and adored, absolutely. What we're not trying to do is change them. When I say focus on you, I'm not saying never think about your specific person. A lot of people mistake this too. Oh, but in your back and begging course, you're talking about SPs. Of course I'm talking about fucking SPs. It's a manifest back your specific person course. Do you want me to not mention them when all of you bitches have got really shitty old stories that you keep manifesting because you haven't forgiven them for the crap that happened before? Oh, yeah, I haven't forgiven them the crap that happened before. Well, the crap that happened before you caused. So you've got to stop thinking those terrible thoughts about them. So we have to focus on them at some point in this course, don't we? Because you've got terrible old stories you haven't got rid of, and that's why they're not back. Oh, is that why they're not back? Are you thick? What do you think I talk about? I talk about what's your concept of them and you. Do you have a really bad concept of them? That's part of your self-concept. Where did you come up with the bad concept about them? So if you have a visualization of you and them together and you're being loved and adored in that, of course that's your self-concept reflected in that visualization, because now instead of feeling unwanted, you're feeling loved and adored in that visualization. What I'm saying about SPs is don't try and change them all the time with SP affirmations. That's what most people do. Change them, like you're doing voodoo dolling on your SP. It's not what we're doing, guys. They're not dolls. They're reflecting your thinking about you. You're thinking about them. What are you thinking about you and them? That's what we're changing. That's what back and begging is all about. I'm a little bit of nerves, like butterflies around SP. Okay, would that have to be cleared out too? Well, if it's nerves from thinking you're less than him, or nerves that you're excited, you can be nervous because you're excited, but not nervous because you think he's better than you. No, get rid of that, darling. Neville has a soothing voice to me as well. Nice to listen to. I used to fall asleep to him all the time. Hang on. So if I'm aware I'm single, then I have to be aware of being in a relationship. Exactly, Christina. If emotions don't matter, why is it bad to react? Isn't that the same thing? Darling, you're reacting from the old self-concept of you. So why would you bother reacting when you know it's done? So you're reacting from your triggers, which is because of your thinking. Then you get emotional when you're reacting. But it came from your thinking first, didn't it? So you have to change your thinking to stop you reacting. The thinking always comes first, not the emotions. Triggers don't come from emotions. Triggers come from thoughts that create emotions that then cause you to react. You understand? I think it was more about beating ourselves up because we reacted. All right, well, don't do that. Neville mentioned the feeling between tennis ball and baseball, etc. Yes, holding a baseball is different than holding a tennis ball. What is the feeling? Feeling it's done, as in feeling the person next to you, feeling the warmth of their skin against you as you sleep, feeling their beard as you touch them, feeling the rain on your face if you're travelling on a bus and like an open-air bus or something, and you're travelling through London, you wanted to travel there and you imagine it's raining on you. Feeling it's done, like feeling how it would feel if it were true, not emotions. The day 2 questions from the challenge about queen treatment and what it means really made me think. Oh, good, darling. I've been successful with manifesting my SP, but this time already 1 month and he blocked me. So you weren't successful, were you, plush things? Because something happened where you started thinking shitty thoughts and they blocked you. So what were you thinking? Figure that out and change that. Guys, the key is getting them back and keeping them, not getting them back and then getting blocked. What are you talking about? It was successful. Doesn't sound very fucking successful to me. Sounds like you need back and begging because you're not understanding where your triggers are coming from. All my self-concept course time. Why don't you have to believe affirmations? You don't have to. You can. But do you have control over belief? If I told you right now to believe in Islam and believe in Muhammad, would you do that? Believe it now. Go from being Christian to being Islam right now. Oh, you can't? Oh, that's because you have to think it long enough for it to form a belief. That's why you don't bother believing it, darling. It has to form a belief in your mind. What are you talking about? You're telling me you can turn suddenly Christian when you're Islamic, when you're, what are you talking about? Of course you have to form belief over time. That's why you don't bother trying to believe it. You can't. It's psychologically impossible to just suddenly believe something. That's why it's stupid to say you have to believe it. No, you don't have to. You can't suddenly believe it. It's physiologically impossible for your brain to have formed a belief that quickly. Allahu Akbar. Yeah, exactly. Am I saying that right? Probably not. And I want him to be incest with me instead. What are you talking about, Aphrodite? Currently, we're in no contact. Will you cause that, darling? Does hypnosis create my obsession towards my SP, imagining we're blissfully married? What do you mean hypnosis? We're trying to self-hypnotize ourselves, guys, with new thoughts about ourselves and them. What are you talking about hypnosis for in my chat? Go and get hypnotized, darling. What do you mean? Have you watched me before? Have you understood how you caused him not to be obsessed with you? Have you done my Make Them Obsessed course? You sound a bit lost. What do you mean? Why are you asking me about hypnosis in here? You can go and hypnotise yourself all you like. There's a fuckwit on here who does hypnotism, reckons he's made a shit ton of money, and he's still triggered, bitch. Did a whole video about me because I said you don't need to go and tell everyone your manifestation. And then he was so fucking triggered, did a whole video. I couldn't even sit through it. I got 30 seconds in. I thought, this guy's so fucking triggered. This guy should not be teaching hypnotism anytime soon because he's so fucking triggered in the 3D. He needs to go and hypnotise himself. His self-concept's in the fucking shitter. One coach writes one comment on a video saying you don't need to tell people what you're going to manifest. And he's like, I've made 6 figures. And I felt like saying, dude, I've made a lot more money than you. And I didn't tell anyone. How about that? How did I do that? If you have to tell people to manifest, how come I've made more money than you and I didn't tell anybody? You're a fucking idiot. If you're watching people tell you have to be hypnotised, darling, you're getting a bit lost. What's this? There's a new coach telling people to only react if their SP messes up a second time. Everyone's a coach, guys. You're a coach. You're a coach. You get a coach. You get a coach. Hey, Loz, I've been spending more time with SP. I've noticed her watching me again. Thank you. Oh, wonderful, Tara. You did that. Loz, I live in fear of miscarriage again. Address that or just go to the end of having a baby. You don't address that, darling. You don't even think of that. You forget that and you go to the end of being a mum. You go to the end of having a brand new baby. You go to the end of having. You don't even imagine that's even going to happen again, darling. Get rid of that fear right out of your mind. I know that might be difficult if you've already had one, but you've got to understand that fear is not helping you. Go right to the end every night of having a baby. Go right to the end every night that baby is in a crib. I saw it at TikTok this morning of a woman waking up to a chihuahua in a crib next to her. Instead of a chihuahua, imagine rolling over and you've got one of those co-sleeper cribs and you're rolling over and the baby's right there every morning. And as you go to sleep, imagine it's right there. Right? Instead of a chihuahua. Okay, thank you. Okay, got it. Just throw that fear out of your mind, darling. SP isn't the version I want, and we're talking about being engaged soon, but I don't want to be engaged. All right, well, then don't be engaged. Just say no. Well, darling, well, I don't get it. He wants to be engaged, but you don't want to be. All right, well, just don't be. Why are you asking me 3D questions? If he's not the version you want, then you haven't made him the version in your mind. It's your problem, Crystal. Why are you coming in here telling me all about him not being conformed to what you want? They're not conforming. They're reflecting you. What are you reflecting out? That he's not the version? Change that. Go and get back in begging, darling. Or worthy as fuck for love. You're not understanding how you're causing that. Coach purses for all. Hilarious. Oh, thank you, darling. Thank you for the rose. Did it trigger me as I don't want people listening to people like... What's this? Oh, there are people like that. Oh, look, guys, if you see dumb coaches, just swipe right past or press not interested. Hey, Loz, I've been spending more time with this pet. That's lovely. So many crazy people teaching manifestation. It's scary. Oh, guys, look, it's a hot topic. I meant if he's only being friendly, do I just see him different in my mind when we hang out? Yes, guys, so stop seeing him as only friendly. See him as a romantic. If my mum partied a lot when I was young and left me at friends' houses, is that not chosen priority? Yes, you'll feel neglected. You'll feel like you weren't given the love and time and attention you needed. That can also just being unloved, darling, as well as not prioritised. Absolutely. It could be two things. Combination of both. I came across your video and love your content, Loz. Tried many techniques and love with yours. Oh, wonderful, darling. They're not really techniques, darling. We're just getting in the state of having. We're becoming the new us. Go and get my free mini course, darling, if you are just new. It's called Everything You Learn About Manifesting is Wrong. Hey, gorgeous Loz. Oh, Tanya, darling. How's the bakery? Thank you. You're welcome. SP keeps asking me if I'm talking to someone else, but he only wants to be friends with benefits. I want to marry him. Well... You can say whatever you want, guys. You can be like, of course I'm talking to other people. You haven't married me yet, so I want a husband. So are you going to marry me? If not, I'll talk to other people. Better fucking hurry up. You can say whatever you like, guys. It's what you're thinking that matters. If you think you're going to say that and he's going to be put off, why are you only friends with benefits? What are you thinking about him? What terrible thoughts have you got about him not wanting to commit to you that's causing that? That's what you need to fix. One manifesting coach here says if you sub to them, they will manifest what they want for you, what you want for you. One manifesting coach on here says if you subscribe to them, they will manifest what you want for you. Oh my gosh. I have seen this tarot girl on YouTube who has these rituals that she sells, and she sells thousands of them, and she reckons she's doing the ritual for you, the manifest your specific person ritual. Do you honestly think that bitch is sitting in her house going, such and such and such and such together? She just took your money and laughed. She took your money and kept it in the bank and laughed all the way to that bank. That you guys are believing other people are out there manifesting for you. Are you guys fucking joking? Only you can create your reality. What in the living shit? Some people are so desperate they'll literally buy anything, and it makes me really sad. Do you recommend sleep tapes? I have them on my YouTube, darling. I have a sleep tape library, a playlist. Go and use those. They're all self-concept based. She also had her own mental health issues, so I felt like I had to self-soothe a lot. What's this, Tracy? I see a coach on here charging for rituals she performs on TikTok with animal hearts. Pamela, no, really? Real animals' hearts? Like she's a witch or something? Oh, dear. Is she the same one that has the oil or perfume? Oh, guys, I don't see these people, thank God. It would make me feel physically sick. Lots of sleep tapes are amazing. I love the way she says mesmerising. Oh, thank you, darling. I started affirming that my wrinkles are gone and I already see them disappearing. Oh, wonderful, darling. I swear I have less wrinkles than I did, like, in my 40s. I swear to God. I used to have, if you look at the photos on my website, they're quite old, and I have more wrinkles under my eyes then than I do now. I swear to you. Where have they gone? There were more before. I swear there were more before. Hang on, guys. I missed a few things. Hi, Dylan. Tell that person I want my Lambo tomorrow. I subscribed. Dylan, yes. Where's my Lambo, bitch? You promised me you would manifest it for me. Oh, it's not here? You must be a scam artist. Do you recommend therapy for deep unconscious beliefs or unworthiness due to severe trauma? Well, yeah, go ahead, but you'll probably be sitting there for 50 years discussing the same shit over and over because they don't want you to fix it. Because otherwise, why would you come back? I try and teach you to fix it quickly. But yes, go ahead, darling. If you need therapy, go and do it. It's all that snail mucin. I don't know. It's me affirming that I look younger than I am, I think. And the snail mucin, yes. But I only started using the snail mucin like August, or no, maybe a bit earlier. But I was just like exclusively Korean skincare since I think end of August because I was just like over using all the other stuff. Where am I? Also work on my self-concept about money. Yes, do that, guys. And the video I've got coming out this week on YouTube was one lesson I did the other day about money. And then some person came in here and accused me of like selling too many things. And I was like, I went off my brain. Then I was like, oh, that's a good lesson about money. Me reacting to this person thinking I now charge money is a bad thing. And me then feeling like triggered by the fact that they don't like it that I charge money for things and earn a living now from my content, even though before I did it for 2 years for free. So I got really triggered in this video. And then I thought that's actually a lesson because I've still got a trigger that I need to overgive and people please. And I haven't pleased this person and they're unpleased. And that's my self-concept of people pleasing reflected. And that people will be jealous of me or unhappy that I'm successful. And I'm like, wow, look at that. That's a lesson right there, me reacting in the video. So I didn't cut it out because I thought this is showing people to not react or to see what your triggers are from your reaction. So a lot of people will probably comment under that video on YouTube going, why are you reacting? But then they'll miss the point of the fact that I'm reacting from a place of my trigger, and then they'll learn from that to learn about their triggers. So I kept it in there. Guys, if I ever get triggered by people, I leave it in because it's a lesson, isn't it? All of the courses, the squad, are worth every penny. Ah, thank you, darling. What do you do to suggest if many other men show up but not SP? It's your story about your SP, darling. Have you done Back and Begging, my Ultimate Manifest and Back course? It's because you haven't changed the story about them, and that course helps you to change the story. It's all about changing the story, and the story came from you, unfortunately. My favourite thing you ever used to say was shut up, brain, or shut up, Satan. I haven't heard that in a while. Oh, not today, Satan, yes. Thank you for your own tutu, Loz. What's this? My tutu? Started affirming me and SP are so close to get him be more open. Well, manifest he's more open, darling. What's the question? Couple of friends not being so courteous to me. What's the self-concept issue? Treated well, good enough, neglect? Yeah, that they don't care, that you're not wanted around them. I want Loz merch tutu. Ah, tutu, yes. I've had a dream last night where SP broke no contact, and I've taken it as a really good thing. I had a weird dream last night as well. And I woke up and thought, what the fuck is that? And someone was all upset with me. Oh, that's my self-concept of upsetting people. And they hung up the phone on me. I woke up this morning, I was like, oh, that's not true. My story is now I'm getting all the attention and love from my SP. My future husband, oh, wonderful, darling. Been working on self-concept, and so many people have been asking me and calling me beautiful. Oh, wonderful. Talking to me and calling you beautiful, wonderful. Could him not being open be linked to my self-concept? It's your self-concept of feeling like he won't give you the emotional needs. Your emotional needs won't be met. Everything was a reflection of you, darling. What do you mean, could it be your self-concept? You're reflecting that out and he's reflecting it back. What do you mean he's not open? Have you got a story he's not open? Oh, wow, that got reflected. What do you mean if it's about your self-concept? Everything's your self-concept reflected. You need to go and watch all my videos. You're very lost. Could it be self-concept? Everything's self-concept. What are you aware of? Go and do my mini course. Everything you've learned about manifesting is wrong. You're a bit clueless about awareness. If you're aware he's not going to be open with you, he won't be. Truth, not tutu. Oh, okay. That was a typo. I need some Loz tutu. You meant truth? Well, we'll get a tutu as well. That will be fun. Do you recommend Joseph Murphy since he studied with Abdullah? Absolutely, guys. Absolutely, Joseph Murphy. Absolutely. Could you talk about shitty self-concepts about money? I did, darling. It's going to be on my YouTube this week. It's going to be called Manifesting Money and Your Shitty Self-Concept Around Money. Go and watch that. It'll probably be out Wednesday. It's hard to see him different when he's acting different to me. How do I see someone different? Kit Kat, come and join the squad, darling. It's all about seeing people differently right now with this challenge, or get back and begging because you're fucking lost. What do you mean, how do you see them differently? Think of them differently. Stop being thrown by the 3D in front of you. So smart to leave it in, even if you have stuff to work on. Leaving it in shows your own shit. Guys, honestly, if you're watching coaches who are acting perfect, they're bullshitting. They're bullshit artists. I see so many triggered coaches on Twitter, on YouTube, and I think, and you're acting like you're perfect, and you're all kinds of triggered on Twitter, in discussions with people, writing back comments to people. What do you mean? None of us are perfect. If they're trying to act perfect, they're bullshit artists. I don't believe them. All right, guys, I'm going to go soon. So make sure you come and join the Manifest What You Want by Christmas 21-day challenge. We're only 3 days in. It doesn't matter if you start late. All the posts will still be there. All the guides, the workbooks will be in the guide section. The videos will be there. I'm going live this afternoon, my time, which will be 10 a.m. UK. And you can watch it back. And I'm answering everyone's question in the question post. Oh, thank you, Kat. And it's such a fun place to be. We have playlists and posts and memes and fun stuff and activities and an advent calendar and a word search and a whole lot of fun stuff, guys, to really get you in the state of having what you want already and to really get your mind off the 3D. And it's really fun and happy and joyous and merry in there at the moment, guys. So come and join the squad. It's only $35. Go to my link tree, also conscioussouls.com. We'll see you there. Bye.